Hi guys, it's Davorka again, and I want to share with you one story from my recent past, since I came to Canada. And so we came here, me and my now husband, then boyfriend. We came just after we finished our universities and got our degrees. And basically, sometimes life throws you to the curb and you have to find your way through it. So our life brought us to Canada, and when we came with really low money. We had almost no money at all, and we came with 2 bags, half empty, with just certain amount of clothes and the jacket that we had on ourselves, and that was it. And we were at the beginning, we met a lot of people from our country that were in a similar situation as we were. And it's really interesting because when you come to another country, it's a survival mode. It really is, because you don't know anybody. You don't have your people around you. You don't have your social network. You don't have your safety net, your family. And you really are completely alone, and you have to find your way through the new situation and in the new world. And a lot of things are different, so you have to learn how to behave and how to act in the new world, what is accepted and what is not. So it's not easy for anybody who has been through that kind of changes. It's not easy, and one of the most difficult things that I had to do, it was reinvent yourself. Basically everything you did so far, all the education you had so far, experience is not really interesting here, and it's not really valuable until you show your skills to somebody and somebody recommends you. So you have to get to the networking part. You have to get to know people quite soon, and hope to God that they will give you the opportunity to show what you bring to the table. So at the beginning it was quite difficult. We were working and doing all kinds of survival jobs, and I'm not saying that to diminish those survival low-paying jobs, because these were really low-paying jobs. But the fact is that when you are doing that kind of stuff, you are working as heck, and you're killing yourself, and you're not compensated enough, or they're not going to give you enough hours, or it's always something. And since we arrived to Montreal first, we were living there for a year and a half, and Montreal is in Quebec, and Quebec official language is French. And we had no clue of French and how to speak French. We were fluent in English, and that is not really something that will pass there for better jobs anyway. So we had to start learning as soon as possible French, and we did, but it was a little bit difficult to do both, learning French and going to work at the same time. Somehow we managed to do that for me for a year, but for my husband, he was doing that for 6 months. And then we learned some basic French, but still it was not enough. So then we realized that if we want some kind of a normal job, some kind of normal future here, we need to learn French really good. And to do that, this is going to take time. It's just going to take time to learn it. And we decided, okay, we're gonna try our luck, because a lot of people went to other provinces, English-speaking provinces. So we said, okay, we're gonna try our luck in Ontario. And for me, something just drew me to Ontario. And we were like, okay. So my husband, after working a few shitty jobs, when I say shitty, it's because those were really dangerous jobs. We didn't have equipment that we were supposed to have for the safety reasons, and we were paid really low. And at the last job that my husband did, he was actually waiting for 2 months for the guy to pay him. and which was a big problem when you don't have enough money. But when you are in this survival situation, people tend to take advantage of you really, really, really hard, as much as they can. It's like they can smell you being desperate. So after a year, one of our acquaintances, he went to Ontario and he did his driver's license for the truck, and he became a trucker, and he started working quite soon. So my husband said, like, you know what, this doesn't make sense. We are just arriving here, we're not going anywhere, so maybe I should do that also. And at that point it was much easier to go into the trucking industry, but for us the money that was needed was like millions of dollars at that point, because it was so much. If we had to save it, it would be almost the whole year to save it, and really save it hard. so it was, if I remember it correctly, it was $3,000 for the driving test, and also the practice to become a truck driver. So certain amount of hours for the practice, and this was with the discount, because it was, that guy knew another guy who was giving people from our country, because this guy was from our country, he was giving certain discount, and he was not, he was trying to help his people. So this was something that was good. But he was like, my husband was like, okay, so I need, like, he was working as crazy for, I'm telling you, for some really difficult situations, in wind, in snow. He was climbing up on the buildings, and without the safety strap, without anything, everything was just for show. He was not connected anywhere, and he almost fell a few times, and it was life-threatening. And also, it was not something that I want anybody to go through. So we actually started, working as much as we could, and at one point we just decided that we're going to loan the money, like borrow the money from somebody. So we did that. Thankfully, we had that opportunity to do that, and this person trusted us, and I'm really grateful for that. And but my husband, when he was thinking about the money that he needed, he was not thinking about the money that he needs to get from Quebec to Ontario, the money that he needs for him to stay there, because this was almost a month that he was going to do this, to stay there. And also, he was not thinking about the money that he needs for his food and drink, because you have to live from something, not just from air. But I thought of that, thank God. So for the 3 months before he decided to go, it was time for him to go, I started saving like crazy, like on everything that I could, really. I didn't allow us to even buy a chocolate or buy cookie or any silly little thing that usually we do buy ourselves, just to reward ourselves. And my roommates, they went through, so they really liked going to McDonald's. We were not going with them at all, and we were just avoiding all of those things. And my husband was like, he didn't know what I was doing. I was just buying the basic needs that we can't go of that, like milk and just the basic food that we need and that kind of stuff. And he was like, okay, so what's happening? Why don't we have money? I know we don't have a lot, but usually we can buy at least something like for indulgence. And I was like, no, sorry, hon, like we're stretched thin. And the good thing about us, and which I really love, is that we have tremendous respect, and we trust each other. We really do trust each other. And my husband, I'm not one of those girls who spend like crazy. I was always really vigilant with the money, and I come from that kind of family. But that doesn't mean that I'm cheap. I'm just vigilant, right? So when I know that I need to save money, it's not a problem for me. So he was always trusting me in that regard, so that's why the money was always in my hands. So when I said we don't have enough, he would say, okay, no problem, like, oh, I get it. So he was not second guessing myself. He was not second guessing me, I'm sorry. And after 3 months, for a week or so before he was supposed to go, and everything was already scheduled for him to start with his driving lessons and everything, he started panicking because he realized that he doesn't have enough money for him to stay there. He had money to you know, to go to Ontario and to come back, but he didn't have enough money to live there. And he was like, oh my God, how am I going to pay the you know, the sleeping arrangements and food? What the heck am I going to do? And he was really panicking. And I was like, okay, so what's happening? And he's like, I don't know, this is really difficult. I don't know should I postpone everything? And I'm like, okay, so how much money do you need? And he's like, at least $1,000. And at that point, that was a huge amount of money, huge. Like even the $3,000, it was, I told you guys, it was really, really a lot. So then I was like, okay, so, and I put out the money and gave it to him. And I was like, he was like, oh my God, like, how do we have this kind of money? I'm like, I saved a lot. I was going to the public kitchens that where they give food to the poor and to the people who don't have money. And because we were in that situation, we were the people who didn't have money and who could get use from that you know, public kitchens and that kind of places. So basically most of the food I got from there. I barely spent any money for those 3 months. Just the necessary one for the rent and for the, you know, things that I cannot get from the public kitchen. So basically he was set, he was okay. So my message from this, and of course he was happy and he did everything, and soon after we did move to we tried to move to Ontario, but he couldn't find a job. And so we moved to Alberta first, because he was lacking experience, and surprise, surprise, everybody looked for experience after that. So we had to go where people are wanted, and workers are wanted all the time, and that's Alberta. That's how we ended up first time in Alberta. However, the moral of the story is that no matter how situation is, how difficult it is, how impossible it is, and in how impossible it seems, once you put your mind to it, you're gonna succeed it, because you're gonna find a way. Do you think that I was happy that I have to go to the public those public kitchen places? And it's not that it's below me, but I felt like, okay, there are many people that need that kind of help more than I do. And it's like, am I really there? And it's difficult to accept that you are there, actually, because believe me guys, help is all around you. You just have to open your eyes and go for it, because everything is possible if you put your mind to it. So next time when you say to yourself, okay, this is too much, and or this is too expensive, or I cannot afford it, or I'm too stupid, or whatever your reason is for not doing something that you really want, just think about me, because it's easy. And I have to be completely honest here and say this: it was easy for me to do that because I was doing that for him, and I loved him. Of course, I love him still, but I'm not sure would I give the same respect and the same will and the same force to do whatever I need to do to myself. And I think we all do that stuff. When it comes for us helping others, we are heroes. We are here and we are victors, and we are going to do everything that's possible and impossible to do it. But unfortunately, most of us, when it comes to us, we don't give ourselves that kind of respect. So now I'm in a situation where I'm trying to not change that, but yeah, change that, basically. Give myself the respect that I deserve, and, you know, love myself the way that I love others. And I'm sure that once I conquer that, and once I triumph in that, oh my God, the world is going to be mine. I'm already much better than I was before, but I still have some greens to eat, let's say it like that. So it's a journey. Don't be too hard on yourself, and believe me, there is nothing that you can't do if you put your mind to it. If it is difficult for you because you're doing it for yourself, just for the reasons that I just said right now, maybe think about yourself like somebody else that you really, really love. So imagine that you're doing that for somebody else that you really love, and it's going to be easier. So that's a little trick that I'm doing right now. Every time that I feel weak and lose momentum, or I doubt myself, which is quite often, I just think about, what would I say to my girl, or to my mom, or to my best friend, or anybody that I meet on the street? Would I tell them, okay, just cry yourself to sleep or be miserable? Or would I say, oh, come on, your life means so much and you deserve so much, so why not go and grab it? So I hope this helped to help you guys, and let me know what you think. Do you think that I'm onto something or not? Or how do you treat yourself, and do you go for the things that you want, or do you just give up before you even try it? Because believe me, everything is possible if you decide that you want to do it. No matter the obstacles, you're gonna always find a way, and the way is going to find you. You just have to be on that high-flying disc, and so certain, and so to have so much faith and believe in yourself so much that you just you're just going to fly there. It's going to be like that. So what do you think? Let me know in your comments, and also, like always, hit like, subscribe, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.